Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to my current addiction, Age of Wonders 4. The game that will ruin my YouTube channel and prevent me from playing Civilization 6 until I play it till death. I have over 160 hours in this game, and my god, is it going well. We have managed to blast down the city of Scaffold, which has led to the death of Asgara's Stonesplitter. Our next target will be to take out Noctis, who I believe has been a major thorn in my side. He's just been a massive chode. He's just being in my way. He's just a problem, and we're going to get rid of him. Don't you worry about that. So, we do have to wait 2 more turns until this city is vassalized, and my units can't heal until it is vassalized, so I'll probably just take a moment to chill, get my bearings, kind of take a look at how the map is going. There is a whole area over here that's unexplored and unexploited that I would like to get an army stack over here to found a city. I may recruit a hero to just run him over here and drop a city. I was thinking maybe right beside this underground passage, like there's a good tile like here or something. This way this tile could potentially get the layer of silk if we decide to clear it, as well as the cursed barrows. There's a lot of barrows stuff, and eventually maybe they could even reach the eternal bedchambers. I don't know. This is the kind of direction that I was thinking of taking this city. Gloomhooknail has built the Root of Shadow. Now, whenever you build one of these kind of things, when you build affinity province improvements, you actually get grievances with the other player. So declaring war on them now would have a pretty good effect on my character because I would be attacking an evil person who's close to winning the game. So I think this is something I will start considering, which is why I have decided to take the Tome of Teleportation so that I can get access to the Chrono Gate, which will function as a teleporter, allowing me to teleport my units around the battle. Well, not around the battle, but around the map. So let's grab the Tome of Teleportation. It has a variety of really nice effects. This will be our first tier 3 tome. I am going to go ahead and take the Summon Phase Beast ability. This will allow me to summon a tier 4 shock unit, which is honestly something I could probably use in my army. And now I can personally build the Seed of Astral. This will make Astral Research cost 20% less and give me +1 Astral Affinity. I think I am going to go ahead and build that, but I also want to build the Chrono Gate. But I'm not at a point yet where my city has grown to let me sort of start building up a conduit farm. And I think over here, I'm going to build a conduit farm because I have what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4 unique types of conduits, and then another province improvement that scales based on conduits. And I need to get the Seed of Astral. So I think the thing that I'm going to go for is anything that gives me food. So I'm going to grab the Fishmonger for 15 food income. And I'm going to grab the Estate Hall for 30 food income. And then I'm going to grab the Bathhouse for city stability income to try and push the stability of my city high enough to where I'll get these extra food income bonuses. Now, I did talk about how I was considering the Tome of Transformation, or where I could conjure up resources, or I could convert my mana into other resources. It actually is a straight conversion. You lose the mana. Now, that's something we can definitely consider in the ultra late game, but for right now, it doesn't work for me. So I'm going to show you what the ultimate stack for my army looks like. And when I say ultimate stack, what I mean is like, this is just like the ideal form for my personal strategy. I have a hero in the army. I have 2 Spellbreaker tier 3 mages. I have 2 Spell Shields sword units, and then a support unit. So this is like the ideal stack composition for me. Hero +2 tier 3 units, +2 tier 2 units, and a support unit. And I think this is a pretty damn good stack. It's very powerful. It's 700 combat strength. Technically, it could be better, but this is kind of the template that I want all my armies to have. It is the ideal form. I'm actually going to take Gerbera Starseer here. I'm going to put her on a Dread Spider so she has more movement. And rather than have her join my army over here, I'm going to go ahead and take her to the far east to settle a city. So she will just make her way over here to the eastern side of the map. And I have a little bit of a scout running down here. I'm just trying to find more information about the underground. We can finally integrate the city of Obscurum. I don't necessarily want to integrate them. I think I want to keep them as my vassal. I do have the ability to do the Rally of Lieges actually still. So I could recruit things like Warlocks, right? Who have the Sundering Curse, which lowers enemy resistances. It's a really powerful spell, actually. Basically reducing their effective health by 20%. Yeah, I'm tempted to recruit a Warlock and a Night Guard and build a sort of a rally stack. I don't have the income to support that because these guys are expensive, right? 24 mana for a Corrupt Soul, 12 gold for a Warlock. I don't think my economy can sustain that, not at my current rate of spending. I mean, I have a lot of magic at my disposal, which is really, really powerful and really useful. The vassalization of Scaffold has been completed, and we are now fully in control of Scaffold. This is occupied by the Bloodfang Orcs. Now, they currently hate me because they were forcibly vassalized. So what I need to do is in order for our allegiance not to decrease, because they start as a tributary where they don't particularly love me, and trade with them is quite difficult. I'm going to have to improve my relations with them, which usually requires me to pull away one of my Whispering Stones. Now, Coalhaven and Obscurum have my Whispering Stones, so let me have a look at Coalhaven down here. How close am I? Yeah, I probably need to keep this with Coalhaven. I could also pull it out of my capital city, but that extra 20, oh, it's actually 30 stability from the Whispering Stone. That extra 30 stability is really keeping me above water here. So I'm going to pull Obscurum's Whispering Stone. We don't need to get to Supreme Vassalage. We're at Flourishing Vassalage. We get 45% of all of their income. We don't need to get to 50% of their income. We're fine the way it is. Let's go ahead and withdraw that Whispering Stone. We're going to give the Whispering Stone to Scaffold. This will bring their vassalage up now slowly. Unfortunately, our relations are cautious, so it will slowly, it'll slow down the increase, but we'll be able to bring these guys into the fold. These guys will always be a problematic vassal because we forcibly vassalized another faction, but we will get resources from them, and it's a way to expand our empire, expand our influence. So now, like you can see, all these green city names, these are cities that we either have positive relations with or we directly control. So even though I'm not actually expanding my capital city, I am expanding my empire's influence. I do want to capture the city of Mysticarium, and I need to kind of gear up for a war with this guy. Militarily, he slightly outranks me, and I think with the extra income from the city of Scaffold, I do feel slightly more confident to maybe build a new army stack. So I can go up to 4 stacks. I think I would like a Corrupt Soul, I would like a Gremlin, I would like a Warlock, I would like a Night Guard. So that's 4 units, 2 melee units, 2 range units, and now I just want a support unit. So I'll have to probably manually build my own support unit, and then either another melee or another ranged unit. I think I'll take an Obscurum Spellbreaker. So I actually can't quite afford this. I could afford the upkeep. What if I dropped a Spellbreaker and replaced it with an Arcanist? It's quite expensive, 50 mana upkeep. Maybe I'll have to drop the Corrupt Soul for an Inferno Hound instead. Yeah, this is a way more manageable army cost, so I'm going to go ahead and recruit these guys. I'll cancel one of my Spellbreakers and recruit a Soother to add to this army. This way I have the support unit that I need in 2 turns when that army stack is recruited. So sometimes you have to make compromises with how your army composition looks, but I think that extra army stack will be enough to make me a real threat to Noctis. I'm going to go ahead and cast Covenant of the Faith on the city of Scaffold, which is now my vassal. This will get me 5 Imperium per turn for a minor upkeep cost in mana, which they should be able to cover with their vassal income. A question I have is unlocking a teleporter. No, okay, so I need to come here. Basically, the question I was asking is unlocking the Chrono Gate, does that allow me to actually build teleporters inside my outposts? And the answer is no. So what I have to do here is come down here, grab the teleporter infrastructure, click it, then in my outposts, I should be able to build teleporters. It takes a while to build, but I will be putting them down in a variety of places. Now, Blint the Underdelver, he wants a Wizard's Bond. A Wizard's Bond is basically an agreement of friendship. It'll open up new relationships, it'll open up new treaties, it'll make us more friendly. I think I'm going to do that. It's good to have a friend in the world. And his opinion of me is pretty respectful, mainly because of my alignment. We do have a little bit of a clashing affinity. But he has declared a friendship with me. I'm tempted to declare a friendship with him, but it's kind of expensive. I don't have the money for it. Who knew friendships were so expensive? Now, we're up against some Druids of the Cycle when it comes to this Noctis guy. He has a lot of high-tier units. He's got Bone Golems, he's got Wild Speakers, Spellbreakers, so we're going to be going up against someone who is a little bit more our speed when it comes to battling. Mysticarium. We have met Arctica, who has taken the Leaf transformation. That's why her skin is green. I'm going to refuse to negotiate with her. She's pure evil. And so I'm expecting us to come to blows later. Unfortunately, we're under siege from an NPC army. Where the hell did this come from? This is a Reaper. It's a tier 5 mythic undead unit that consumes corpses, has Finger of Death, which just has a 60% chance of killing a non-hero unit or doing 45 damage. Yeah, this unit is a little bit of a problem, especially considering it's at elite rank, getting its mythic level, which gives it mythic armor bonuses, mythic resistance bonuses, mythic damage bonuses. It's just much stronger. We're going to have to deal with this Reaper, or just accept that it's going to do damage to our city, which is going to cost us money upkeep every few turns. A Seat of Nature has been built. These are all things that I'm kind of scared of. Is it too early for the war? My capital city is under siege. I think, oh my god, this is just so much stuff. I think with maybe a couple of lightning torrent blasts after my rallied units come through, maybe I can defeat this stack. I mean, there's also a bone dragon here. Jesus Christ. I don't see anyone else getting pillaged, you know? I just want to point that out, okay? I think we're going to begin the siege of Mysticarium here in the next turn or two. So let's get in position for that battle. Right, here we go. 2 army stacks are available. This is my support stack that I was bringing up. And I also have an extra spell breaker. So they're going to finish pillaging this in a turn. Now, if I were to just fight this right now, it would be a high-risk battle and we would lose. However, if I blast these guys with Lightning Torrent, not once, okay, do they take a little bit of damage. Not twice, do they take even more damage, but 3 times to just take the edge off their health. It might not look like I did a whole lot there, but I think this is enough to where we could win an auto combat. And I was right. But I think I can do slightly better than that. We'll see. I really just paid for these units, so I want to preserve them if I can. So I could do a Wrath of the Faithful, which would be a consistent 10 damage. Do I have better spells? I could conjure a Divine Beacon to give me passive healing. I think what I'm going to do is to try to run to the bottom half of the map here so that I can set up some Divine Beacons to provide protection to my units. This way I can try to take on the Bone Dragon on its own before I have to deal with the rest of this army stack. So I think that's the strategy I'm going to go for. I'll drop the Divine Beacon right here so that it provides a little bit of a morale buff, as well as I get my Starblades promotion, and it prevents the negative morale penalty that my units get if I don't cast a spell. There's another +5 morale. So already my units are almost in the high morale zone, which will give them some critical hit chance. I'm going to try to space my units out around the Divine Beacon in a way that makes sense to me. I don't mind if this dragon runs up and tries to hit me, just for the purpose of like getting all the buffs that we can, but not being super vulnerable to AoE attacks that these guys can do. And then I think I'll drop another Divine Beacon so that we get another buff of our morale. Because now we're healing 10 health at the start of our turn and getting 5 morale, or well, 10 morale at the start of our turn. So our units should have a very hard time actually breaking. So let's see what, I think the dragon is going to approach to attack. They might get like some sort of zap off on me. No, the dragon is waiting. You know, I could get a 3rd Divine Beacon out and close rank around it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try something. I'm going to go for my 3rd Divine Beacon, providing AoE healing. So now I'm recovering 15 health per turn and 15 morale per turn. This is like a huge defensive muscle zone. Yeah, I think I'll just have all my units be defensive here. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Independents are moving. Probably going to come in and try to AoE. So they did hurt my morale, but we'll get that morale back and he debuffs me. There's the Flame Breath. But here comes the 15 health heal. Boom. Bring our health up significantly. And we're now in full morale. So now we're tanking this damage. And my Soother can drop a fat heal to bring everyone back up. In terms of spells, I don't think it makes sense to do any more Divine Beacons. I think we just need to start dropping Wrath of the Faithful on units to bring them down one by one. Now this guy right here, he could do a Sundering Curse. The problem is that it does frost damage. So I would have to make the rest of the damage he does, like, really make it work. Here's what we can do. If this behind you hits this guy, he'll get turned around, which means now he's facing the wrong direction, which will let me get flanking attacks on him. You are going to just be fortified. You're in defense mode fully. I feel like the right move is to defense mode on these 2 melee units and focus on just taking down this Banshee. I'm going to drop a Wrath of the Faithful on him. Then I'll hit him with just magic bolts, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just going to hit him with the magic bolts to try and get him down low. And then I'll try to hit him with more magic bolts to finish him off. Okay, so we've killed 1 unit and we've lost nothing. This is how you fight a battle. Now the Reaper just ate that corpse, giving him 3 strengthened, which is a little bit scary. And he managed to inflict death on one of my units, summoning a zombie. That's really bad. But my heals got triggered. My units are really good at escaping zone of control. So let's make that the plan. I'm going to Wrath of the Faithful this unit, run you over here to finish him. That'll be a kill. Boom. Okay, he had lifesteal. Never mind, it wasn't a kill. I'm going to melee strike you in the back. Let me see. You're going to step away and take that damage. Just accept it. 100% chance to hit the dragon. Let's take it. This Arcanist is in trouble, but I really need to bring this dragon down. I suppose if my Warlock goes into defense mode, he has a better chance of surviving. It's not perfect, but he has a better chance of surviving. 43 damage on a dragon from a Spearman, because he has Giant Slayer, is fantastic. Go ahead and get 30 damage on his ass. Perfect. Blast the dragon for another 15 damage with a crit. Okay, the dragon is going to be brought down. Oh, yes. Okay. We're looking kind of okay. This dragon should be able to be brought down by this Spearman pretty easily. And we're getting a lot of healing and morale. Now, Wrath of the Faithful could kill the dragon. Where else would Wrath of the Faithful be better spent? I could almost kill these zombies if I Wrath of the Faithful them. Yeah, let's kill this with the zombie. The question is does this guy count as a large target? He is a large target, so he will take 40% more damage from my spearman. So my spearman's going to be really key to killing the Reaper. I do have Wrath of the Faithful. I could kill these zombies. I could make this guy turn around. It's a 50-50 shot. So now he's facing the wrong direction, which means he can get blasted in the ass. Let me go ahead and Wrath of the Faithful him. Blast him in the ass. Boom, boom, boom. Not quite a kill. That's really unfortunate, actually. He stepped this way. Blast him in the ass. There we go. Perfect crit. Just please kill him. Don't miss. You missed. You were not meant to miss. Doggo, see if you can escape. Nope, Doggo got crit. That's okay. We might lose another unit. In fact, I got a worse outcome than the auto-resolver. That happens sometimes. Sometimes there's a thing called negative micro, where if you just hadn't done anything, you actually would have just done better. People who play RTS games are familiar with this. Now, I haven't yet gotten a worse outcome. Go ahead and finish him. This is a 100% chance to kill. Perfect. Let's Wrath of the Faithful these zombies. Then we'll stab him. He'll hit us back, but that's okay. You step here. Mending. Oh, he can't be healed. He has been inflicted with what? Decaying. Right. Let's magic blast this guy. You step forward 1 tile and magically blast him again. There we go. And let's see what his next move is. I wonder, is his Finger of Death... No, he can't use it for another 3 turns. Okay, that's good news. But he's just going to go straight for my beacon. Honestly, that's great. If the beacons are tanking for me, that's fantastic. Let's hit him with the Wrath of the Faithful to bring his health down. We're going to inflict a behind you on him to get him to face the wrong way, thus making him much easier to damage because he's getting flanked. These little demon guys, I didn't realize how good they were. But actually, I did get a slightly better outcome, okay? We only lost 2 units. Or maybe 3? Okay, yeah, we lost 3 units. This is basically the exact same outcome. Alright, so there is such a thing as negative micro. Do keep that in mind. I'm going to take the Siege Specialization ability, which will give me +1 Siege project slot. That'll be really useful. It'll make sieges much easier and much faster. Blint the Underdelver sent me a message. That's great. And I think next turn we're going to declare the war and begin the Siege of Mysticarium. So I can gain Imperium. I can gain food. I can gain a Soother. Or I can gain knowledge. I think I like the idea of getting a free unit. I could use some more units. And let us begin the war with our enemy Noctis. I'm going to declare a justified war. I'll get a 20% boost to my Imperium. All other players in the game will like me more. And I have 3 vassal cities to join me in the war. Now, his capital city is underground, which means they're going to be consistently pumping out units out of this underground passage. However, I do have a vassal nearby who should look to fight them, I hope, and participate in these battles. And I'm also in a position where I can capture and kill some of their units, just like on the outskirts of their cities. Let's begin this siege. It'll take 4 turns. It only has walls, so I'm going to go ahead and add a Harass the Defenders. This will deal 20 damage to any defenders of the city on the first turn. I'm also going to construct Onagers so that I have extra units providing assistance when the actual siege battle comes. And other than that, I'm going to leave it there. I don't need any more siege projects, so I'll just let that be as it was. We have finished researching the Summon Phase Beast ability. I'm tempted to summon one of those to assist my army. We could research Amplified Arrows. I don't think I need that. None of the things that are really inside the Book of Teleportation are super important to me. The Astral Trade Relay is like normally good for really wide empires. My empire is quite tall. It is nice to have another gold building at least. I guess I'll get Amplified Arrows. It does open up the option of ranged units being useful to me later on in the game. It makes them more recruitable at least. Right, let us summon a Phase Beast. That'll take a turn. We have finished researching Amplified Arrows. Phasing Enchantment will give phase to my units. Honestly, this might actually be really good to get to be able to reposition, because there have been points where like my battle mages are tackled by melee and it'd be great if I could move them. I would love Army Heal. I'll lock Army Heal in because it's actually a pretty good emergency, like top up my spell inside enemy territory. Like top up my army's health inside enemy territory at the cost of mana. So I will go ahead and grab that. My capital city has the ability to annex another province. And like I said, I was going to start building my conduit farms over here to the north. So I'm going to start popping down conduits. My goal is to eventually just build up a massive amount of mana in this city. I'm going to trade with the city of Scaffold and convert some of my gold into mana. I think that's actually a good trade considering it just lets me rebalance my economy. The other city I might consider trading with is Coalhaven. I could pay 15 money to gain 21 food per turn in my capital, which would really help me grow that city. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take that deal. 20 food per turn doesn't sound like much, but look how much food we actually need to grow. We need nearly 1,000 food. Let's finish summoning this Phase Beast right here. Right, Phase Beast, up here. Am I misclicking? I think I'm meant to right click. Oh yeah, right click to cast spells. I was left clicking. So this is the Phase Beast. It is a single entity unit, I believe, or maybe a 2-entity unit. Which makes it very powerful. It does cost Imperium to upkeep. Now that is the big downside of tier 4 and tier 5 units, is they get quite expensive to maintain. It has heavy charge strike. It has phase, so it can teleport around. Heavy charge strike is good damage. It has displacement. When it gets hit, it teleports, which means it technically interrupts all repeating attacks, which makes these things actually really effective at getting into melee with dragons, because whenever the dragon attacks them, it'll teleport away and the dragon will only get one attack. A very good anti-dragon unit, because I'm dragging these nut. I'm going to move a spell shield into this stack and put the Phase Beast into my main army stack here. This will give me really good auto-resolve potential and also just a lot of power. This Phase Beast is going to do some serious work for me. Alrighty, let's go ahead and pop down the outpost to the east. We're going to be building a city over here. I would also like to build a city somewhere down here in the south, some sort of coastally based city that just basically siphons off all of these coastal resources into its city and make a really, really good and powerful coastal empire. Very, very tempting proposition for me. So I think I'm going to run you down here as well with the roading feature active. So you can make your way to this. It just allows you to build roads. Roads let you move a little bit quicker. It does make the map look kind of higgledy-piggledy and squiggly-wiggledy. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I do think in situations like this in the game, where there's like 2 sets of roads adjacent to each other, I think those roads like should just become a 2-tile wide thing that like looks better. I think they could work a little bit on the graphical stuff. But otherwise, like I have very few complaints about this game. I really just enjoy almost everything about it. Let's go ahead and prepare a lightning torrent. I'm tempted to summon a Lightbringer as a battle mage unit. It would give me access to some spirit damage, but I'm just going to go ahead and start casting lightning torrents to have them ready so I can start blasting the people of this city. Now, they got really big stacks, but if they counterattack, I should be able to do work. I am expecting a counterattack when the siege is 1 turn to go, but if I don't get a counterattack, I should be able to make a very successful battle, especially if I can lightning blast all of their army stacks, giving them weakness to my lightning damage. One thing that I wish you could do in this game is to be able to step on a vassal tile improvements without having to declare war. Like I can't step on this research post, even though it would get me technically closer. So that's something that I find slightly irksome. It's not a massive complaint. It's just like slightly annoying. I'm going to go ahead and do I just start founding the city right now? If I'm founding the city, I should go for fruitful integration. Yeah, I think honestly, walls take so long to build. I should build the stone walls with the outpost because it would take me like 10 turns to build it with the city. So I'm better off building the walls now so that when this outpost spawns into a city, it'll have better defenses. All right, here comes the counterattack I'm expecting. Or no, they're abandoning the city, but they've left themselves vulnerable. I think they just straight up abandoned the city. Now, this is an erudite orc city. I could migrate it to my faction, but I don't want to do that. I think I'm just going to vassalize it. That's like my faction's thing. But the good news is this army stack is going to be easily caught by me because they're separate from the rest of their people. So I could just easily auto-resolve, get a free kill on 2 units. Now, I'm curious. If I step to here and I put this army stack and this army stack into the water, if I attack, all 3 will participate in the battle. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and lightning torrent both of these enemy army stacks to make them vulnerable, just in case they decide to attack me, so they're vulnerable to my type of magic. I'm in the water beside them. I think ingredient experimentation here would be good. I have access to quite a few magic materials, so I'm going to take that, and that'll boost my research per turn by about 80, which is really, really powerful. Yeah, we've acquired like 1, 2, 3, 4, so that should be good resources. Blint the Underdelver wants a defensive pact. I'll take that deal, because it means if anyone attacks me, he will actually join me in that. And having 1 ally out of like the 7 other people that are in the game really kind of doubles the number of targets my enemies have and reduces the target-rich environment that I live in here. We have managed to upgrade the city of Scaffold up to vassalage, which is honestly really great. We need to keep improving our relations with them and keep them up to a strong position. Okay, so it looks like they're trying to retreat to their capital city to keep it safe. Queek Headtaker will add to my recruitment pool, who is one of the gods that I made, who I won a campaign with, which is why he is being added to my recruitment pool. I'm just going to hold steady on this city while it gets vassalized. I think that's the best thing to do, is to let my enemies, is to make sure that I secure the future for my empire. I'm going to drop an outpost here, and the entire goal of this city is to claim all of these coastal resources, right? You see here we got oyster reefs, we got fish, we got oyster reefs, fish, oyster reef, fish, oyster reef. So this is going to be a really high food and gold income city. This city will be generating money for me. So I'll have to start looking into taking expanded governance, at least 2 levels of expanded governance. There's phasing enchantment research. Let's go ahead and select a new research. I'm going to go ahead and take army heal. Mass recall, really damn powerful, especially if I have teleporters in position. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in, but I really want army heal to be able to heal my army. There has been a call to war against Gloom. He has attacked my ally. It is a major war justification, so I will get empire relations. I'm going to go ahead and accept this call to war because you know what? Let's introduce a little bit of chaos into the game. Me and this mole dude, we're ride or die. He's my ride or die. I'm all in on Hans Moleman. Let's go ahead and cast Covenant of the Faith on Coalhaven, who has just become my vassal, which will give me 5 Imperium per turn at the cost of 6 mana per turn, which again is a really high value trade for me. So they're looking like they're setting up for a counterattack. I see a whole bunch of units over here on the left. I see a whole bunch of units over here on the right. No heroes. Well, there's one hero here, Noctis himself. He's only level 3. He must not have had much combat at all. He's going to be very easy to deal with compared to the orcs who had like an insane, like 3 level 9 heroes or something she had. That was crazy. We have finished researching our book, so we need to pick another tier 3 book so we can get to the tier 4 books of Astral, right? Things like Astral Convergence, which allows me to become stronger the more spells I cast and summon creatures from the Astral Sea. This will give me access to the Arcane Maelstrom Siege project, right? Which randomly does damage to enemy units every turn. It'll also give me combat summon spells, which will deal damage and summon a random tier 2 astral creature. I could destroy enemy provinces and summon marauding armies of astral sea creatures. I can get the major racial transformation, allowing my race to become part of the astral sea itself, which will give me +1 mana and knowledge per population and give them pass-through so they can ignore obstacles. This is a really cool racial transformation. Holy shit. Cascading power. Whenever you cast a spell in tactical combat, add a stack of cascading power to that combat. At the end of your turn, a random enemy takes 5 lightning damage for each active stack. That is insane. Holy shit. That's really cool. So I'm kind of thinking about the direction I want to go. It would be good to get some shadow points. There's some really good abilities in here. For example, All-Seeing Eye will give me extra knowledge, giving me knowledge every time I defeat heroes in combat, reducing the upkeep of my magic origin units, getting combat casting points every time a unit dies, getting mana and knowledge when we conquer cities, another Whispering Stone. My heroes could level up faster, universal camouflage inside my domain, armies regenerate hit points inside enemy territory. I mean, we're probably not going to get anything beyond like maybe the first 4 or 5 of these, but these seem quite good. So let's have a look at the shadow books. We could get the Tome of Great Transformation and we go in the direction of Undeaditude. And honestly, getting an extra 10 HP and weakening aura on my melee units seems quite good. And also being able to cast Desecrate Structure to be able to get +5 mana from my nodes. I'm not going to be taking Whiteborn because I don't need the Lifesteal or Undead attribute, but like Fetid Legion, Desecrate Structure, and the ability to Soul Harvest to use souls could be handy. On the other hand, we could go for the Tome of the Cold Dark, which would give me access to the Frostspire. I could also take Marching Winter, which would allow me to transform the world into an Arctic hellscape, giving me +2 food and production for every snow and ice tile. As much as I want Shadow Affinity, I really don't think this fits my build. Do you know what actually might fit my build? I can summon Phase Beasts. So they're an animal type unit, so giving them +10% hit points and 20% damage seems like it could be quite powerful actually. So Empowered Beasts and Super Growth on my race, right? Getting 10% hit points or 10 hit points and retaliation attacks. This could be quite good. And the Totem of the Wild, this would be a really, really good cast this in front of my army and it'll spawn units to just distract and delay the enemy. I actually really like the idea of going for the Tome of Vigor here. Plus it'll give me some nature affinity. And there are some really powerful nature affinity bonuses. And also being able to cast Unleash Beast on my Phase Beasts. 5 strength and 5 defense and the Berserk attribute. I don't know. This is starting to look like a good choice. We're going to go for the Tome of Vigor. That'll be our second tier 3 tome. I kind of want to research Empowered Beasts and Super Growth, so I'll lock in Empowered Beasts, but I'm going to go for Super Growth first, because that 10 extra hit points on my race is going to be super good. I built the palisade walls here in the outpost. I'm going to go ahead and build a work camp as well to get the city off to the best start that it can get. My capital city can annex another province, which we will do. I want to build my seed of so I'm going to build a quarry here, and then I'm going to put the seed of Astral, or do I want the Seed of Nature? No, I think I want the Seed of Astral, and I'm going to put that adjacent to my capital here on this target province, so it'll take a few turns to build. Now I could get a wizard bonds with Werlach of Insildur, and he does like me because I've been declaring justified wars, and we have a shared astral affinity. He is pure evil though, but I'll take this wizard bond for now, because remember, one less target on the map, it just makes my life a little bit easier. My mole man friend has called me to war against Arctica. Our combined forces are stronger than him. I don't want to decline this defensive pact, so I'm going to accept it so that I look honourable in the eyes of other people. This does mean Arctica hates me and might send armies to me, but, I mean, this is a phase of the game where things should get a little bit chaotic in my opinion. This is when things should get crazy. This army stack was not inside the walls of the city, so it has been singled out. I'm going to auto-combat that, but I'm going to go back to the end of that turn and modify things. Holy shit, we just auto-resolved and all we lost was a gremlin. We just auto-resolved this battle where they were stronger than me and all we lost was a gremlin. Holy shit. That's kind of insane. The level of obliteration we just inflicted on our enemies, so this is the phase of the game where I no longer need to fight battles manually, right? I've built up my armies and my composition and my magic to the point where I'm basically unstoppable. Not entirely, like attrition will beat me. I'm going to go ahead and load back. I mean, you know what? Losing that small army stack, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to go ahead and move this Spellbreaker to the right. By the way, we just actually obliterated his entire army through auto-resolves. His military ranking is now 7. He's now the weakest player in the game. And I'm going to go ahead and summon another Phase Beast for my main stack. My ruler has leveled up. Let's have a look here. We could take, Spell Amplification will make all of my tactical spells deal 20 more damage. Yeah, I'm going to take Spell Amplification. It just makes my magic better. And magic is definitely a direction that I've been pushing in for strength. Noctis has withdrawn to the Astral Void, so if I was able to take out his capital city, that would defeat him. I'm going to prioritize finishing the conquest of Mysticarium first. All right, let's recruit ourselves a new ideal stack. That'll be 2 Spellbreakers, 2 Spell Shields. Ooh, wait, no. I should recruit a navy. Yeah, that's something I'm actually missing, is a navy. If I have a navy, I can start going around and clearing off all these coastal bullshits. And it'll also let me capture, interrupt, and intercept any potential BS from other players. So it's time we recruited a navy. I'm just going to do a full stack of ram warships, because it would take us a very long time to get the Grand Warp, which would allow us to build ballista warships. I'm going to take Benevolent Conquerors. This will allow me to gain +1 allegiance levels when I first vassalize a city, and it'll also make converting cities 2 vassals take 1 less turn, which will significantly speed up my rate of conquest. We have managed to conquer the city of Mysticarium. These are the erudite orcs. They are now my vassal, providing me with a little bit of resources. And it's time to turn our attention to the deep dark underground. Let's summon our second Phase Beast for our leader stack. We'll put this Phase Beast in. Now these are expensive to maintain, right? 25 mana, 3 Imperium. But they do the job. They're really, really useful. So the people of Starspire, I think, are going to give me some sort of bonus. I could gain a little bit. Ooh, I like the idea of getting 52 stability in my capital. That'll really help out. That'll put me up into the orderly mode, giving me 10% production, draft, and food, allowing me to grow pretty quick. And hopefully once the bathhouse is finished, which I could theoretically hurry with production, I would go straight to Harmony. Alright, so this is what the late game stack for my Thurinda Herald looks like. 2 Phase Beasts to jump inside enemy formations and cause massive problems, while my Spellbreakers obliterate them from range. My Chaplain provides support, healing, and buffing, and my Hero does all sorts of summoning and support abilities. We're supported by a couple of stacks here, a mixture of ranged and melee units. I would say I'd say I have a pretty strong army right now. We have finished researching super growth, which I'm going to immediately start casting. I'm going to go ahead and research empowered beasts as well, which will make my phase beasts that much stronger. Let's come in here. We're going to cast super growth. Super growth will give us +10 hit points and +1 retaliation attack, which means when our faction's melee units are attacked and they have retaliation attacks, they'll be able to attack twice rather than once, which is a really powerful ability, in particular for Spearmen, because Spearmen already get +1. This is quite an expensive spell, 350 mana, and it does have some upkeep. No, sorry. Racial transformations don't have upkeep, so it's just straight up just a good thing to do. Right, this outpost is now ready to be founded into a city of the Halfling Builders. I will have to build expanded governance here in the near future. That'll be what I'll be saving my Imperium for. We could grab ourselves a Chaos Eater, which is a tier 4 battle mage with chaos bolts. I am tempted to do this. Yeah, I think I'm going to recruit just a Chaos Eater here to add to my army. It'll cost me 34 mana per turn and 3 Imperium. Do I also want to get a Corrupt Soul? I wish I had a higher tier support unit. It could be nice to get a Fury. I don't have many range units. I think I'm just going to take the Chaos Eater. It's a tier 4 unit. It's really only the way I'm going to get a tier 4 unit of that type. And I'm just looking to add like super late game units to my composition. In particular, I would like to have one army stack, i.e. this one, that is just filled with tier 3 to 4 and higher units. So that's why the perfect composition, in my opinion, right, for an army is 2 melee, 2 ranged, a support unit and a hero. That's like the ideal composition for me. That's just how I like to design them. It's how I feel good. You can do different ways depending on your army composition, but I find that this rule just like works quite well for me. Let's step here and begin the siege of Waypoint, which is their capital city. Now this thing has 85 siege fortifications, so we're going to have to do quite a bit of siege projects here. All right, let's have a look here. If we do a headlong assault, we will take some damage at the start of the battle, but we would siege down the city 50% faster. I'm going to go ahead and do that because now it'll only take 6 turns. I would need to find another 5 fortification damage to bring it down 1 more turn. I don't think I'm going to bother. I'm just going to bombard the towers and construct onagers, and that'll bring it down to 5. 5 is fine. 5 is doable. And let's go ahead and put this city under full siege. All 3 of my army stacks are down here. The city is well under siege. It'll take 5 turns to bring it down, but once we do bring it down, we'll be in great shape. My first ram warship has been finished. A beautiful, beautiful charge striking, melee attacking, ramming ship. Oh, lovely. We got our first Chaos Eater. Let's go ahead and start bringing him to the front line. Now, I do want to move my hero down into one of these stacks. So let me step you to the left. I'll take this support unit, which is not necessary, and I'll move you up to the surface. I'll move my hero back down to join these guys. You guys are like supporting each other in combat. Yeah, you are. Okay. So now I have my 2 heroes working in tandem on this city. Sometimes you want to split your heroes up. Sometimes you want them together. It really depends on what your objectives are. I only really have one main opponent right now, which is this guy. So I'm keeping them together. The city of Arculis has been completed, which is genuinely a momentous occasion for my faction. Let's go ahead and take a quarry. So we've got a farm, we've got a quarry. We got to start building up this city's ability to produce buildings. It's going to take a very, very long time. But that's not what's important, right? The important thing is now I can put a governor in charge of the city, like Gerbra Starseer, and we can slowly build up another city over here in the east. Now, if your city cap is too low, you take a 25% penalty to the city income to all of your cities for each city above the cap. So I am taking a penalty to my income right now. If I go in here, you can see a multiplier. I'm taking minus 71 gold per turn for the city cap and minus, 15 mana per turn. I'll be able to sort that out in a couple minutes after I get enough governance to expand my governance. This is actually a repeatable thing. It just gets more expensive every time you do it. Let's go ahead and cast ourselves the Racial Transformation Super Growth. Again, 10 hit points, extra retaliation attacks, and also decreasing the number of units in the formations. So the less units in a formation, it means that the breakpoints for lowering their combat efficiency get further apart. So normally, let's say if you have 5 units in a formation and they take 20% of their damage, their health as damage, they lose one of the units in that formation, and thus they lose about 20% of their damage. For example, these Soothers, they typically have 3 units in it, but when you use Super Growth, now it's a single entity unit, which means it will never lose combat effectiveness, like in terms of DPS, no matter how much health it loses. And plus my people look really big and scary now, which is really awesome. So I come in here and I can actually like show this off on some of these units. You can see these spearmen. Previously, this was a stack of 6 units. Now it's like 2 to 3 guys. So they have to take off half the health to reduce my combat effectiveness. Like my auto-resolve capabilities have just been getting better and better and better and better. Blint the Underdelver wants an open border agreement. I'll do that. And I may actually negotiate here a treaty of shared vision. This will allow us to see each other's empires. But more importantly, this will allow me to see any city-states that he's found. And there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4 city-states that I found as a result of that. And it'll also give me a much better assessment of how much of a threat he is and how much of a threat he's under, which is really, really great. It also helped me reveal the map in general and get a better idea of what I'm up against. Okay, so he has the city of Lorwell over here. I didn't know he had that one. But the really cool thing is I might learn more about the undergrowth. Okay, yeah, he's got a pretty solid hold down here. He's even got like little weird coastal cities. I'm genuinely impressed at how well he's managed to build up his empire. I've played mostly on like normal difficulty, and the AI kind of doesn't do amazing He wants peace. I'm going to go ahead and decline that deal. I refuse peace. You need to defeat other players. Okay, so my trade treaties have run out. Let's go ahead and open up the diplomatic overview. We're going to go for my owned vassals, and we'll begin looking at our trade deals. I think 16 production is great. Now, does that only go to my capital city? That's a question I have. Yes, base, treaty with Astral Anchorage, but I'm pretty sure that that doesn't go. He's about to put this city under siege, so I might have to start summoning phase beasts or something. Yeah, this city doesn't get that. Okay, so that's a strictly only the capital city gets that. Right, let's start negotiating again. Obscurum, I can't afford Obscurum's trade deals. 15 gold for 24 food, I'll take that deal. Scaffold, what do you got? 23 gold for 33 mana, that's a good deal. Mysticarium, oh wow, your ones are expensive, but the gold for production is amazing. That'll seriously help me build stuff in my capital. That's a huge amount of production that I've been really struggling not to get. There is actually a perk you can get which allows you to get trade deals without paying for them with your vassals, which is just like a massive upgrade to vassals. I think I have a really fun build that I want to do. I'll probably do more of a destructive build next before I do a more vassally build. So 3 more turns until Waypoint is a viable target to be taken out. We built a work camp over here in the outpost, and our number 1 objective is to just make fisheries here, but a few quarries could be handy. I would like to found a city here. It's not what I'm going to do. I'm being sieged and pillaged over here. That's fine. Let's take the +1 city cap. That'll ease off my economy. I'm going to start producing arcanists in this city to act as defense to try and protect it. And I'm going to cancel my ram warships so I can start recruiting stacks of units to send over there to help. Mostly I'm probably just going to spam arcanists. Yeah, like a stack of 5 arcanists plus a soother to send over there to protect that city. Let's cast Covenant of the Faith on Mysticarium. This will give us +5 Imperium per turn. So we're starting to get into the point now where our economy is just like disgustingly powerful, which is a really fun phase of the game in my opinion, because all of the work that we've like put in the early game to build up our empire and our economy and our diplomacy and our situation is now starting to pay off in a big way. Now the next city cap will cost me 500 Imperium, which is really expensive. I will save up for that, but I might take things like Teleportation Mastery or something. We'll figure out exactly what we'll do. We can't really miss out on some of those important late game Imperium abilities. All right, I'm going to take this Arcanist and move it to here. I'm going to take a Spellbreaker and move it to this hero stack, and then I'll put the Chaos Eater into this hero stack. So you can see now I'm building up a stack that has insane power, right? All these tier 4 Giga Beasts. I would like another Chaos Eater, but I don't think I can recruit one for another 11 turns to replace that. And I would really like a Druid of the Cycle or something in here to replace this Chaplain, to bring me up to all tier 4s. We have just finished researching Empowered Beasts. I'm not actually going to cast this though because I'm very low on mana. I need to preserve my mana. I do think it's time that I researched Frenzying Focus so that my battle mages will get plus 10% damage every time they attack. Warlock of Isildur wants a defensive pact. I'm going to go ahead and decline that. I don't want another defensive pact because that'll just draw me into more chaotic wars. We're definitely into the Great Power Wars phase of the game, which is when like the battle lines have been drawn, people have chosen a side, and the warfare has broken out. Now, all of these Marauder Guards, right? So clearing out these zones are going to be much harder now because look, we've got dragons, we've got reapers. Every single one of these tile improvements, these like resource nodes, they're just coated in extremely high tier units. It's going to be really annoying to build up and expand at this point in the game. That's why tempo is really everything in Age of Wonders 4. Like how fast can you get your empire up and running? So I can gain an Astral Boon. I could gain a Fury of the Bloodfang Orcs, or I could gain alignment. I'm going to take the Fury. Free units, absolutely my thing right now. This is the phase of the game where we need to start producing armies to fight. Like I said, the Great Power Wars are beginning to break out. We finished researching Frenzying Focus. I'm going to go ahead and take Unleash the Beast. This will give me access to the Unleash the Beast spell, which will allow me to make my phase beasts go insane in combat. The capital city can annex another province. I'm in the middle of building the Seed of Astral. I'm going to go ahead and annex another farm. I'm going to put a Chrono Gate on this quarry. This is a special province improvement that allows me to teleport my units around the map. It won't be super useful yet, but it does need to be built eventually. Coalhaven can now be integrated, but we don't want to integrate free cities. We want to be their friends. We get a lot of money from them. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm getting a huge boost to my income from vassals in general. thanks to my order ability here, tributaries. We finished the Seed of Astral, which will make astral spells much cheaper to research. I'm quite happy about that. I've got a defense stack up and running that I'm going to go ahead and run over to protect Arculus. We have breached the walls. I'm going to go ahead and attack. We're up against a huge amount of druids of the cycle. We're also having the cycle of seasons winter. Let me see how the auto combat goes for me. That's a little bit too much losses. Let me have a look at the replay to see what caused these losses. It looks like just poor unit management caused a lot of these problems. Yeah, it looks like it started off well, but it's just like whatever was going on later on in the battle didn't go exceptionally well. Yeah, poor unit management. I'm going to go ahead and fight this siege manually, and that'll allow me to get a much better outcome. So let's talk about our objectives here. One of our first objectives is to get our unit health up to a more reasonable level and let our enemy take their turn. Right, my catapults can't attack until next turn. Ah, he has a cell jammer. That's the problem. I can't cast spells. Now that's a really big problem. Let's do this to make all of these guys wet. Perfect. They have been wetified. And then we can bring up our Arcanists. We want to hold a distinct front line. Even my phase beast, who I'm going to teleport onto the walls on the far right side so that I can pin this battle mage down to make life harder for my enemies. I'm going to converge. What's the range of this? We do need to take these out. Yeah, I think a Star Purge here to massively damage that catapult is the move. I'm going to move my second phase beast over here to the right side for the purpose of just pairing up my phase beasts to work together to try to take on this eastern flank, and then I'm just going to move this way. So how far can you cast this mass rejuvenation? You can cast it on the Chaos Eater. Okay, that's good knowledge. I'm going to move the Chaos Eater to here. The Chaos Eater has a very low range, but that's fine. And I'm going to try to position all of my Arcanists and low health units around the Chaos Eater. We're just going to full retreat to the right side here. Go ahead and Mending Touch, then do a Soothing Breeze, and then we'll drop a fat... I think I'll summon an animal first, actually. That way I have a nightmare that I can just send in to fight. So we take a little bit of damage, bolster our resistance, we get grazed, flanked, all this stuff. We'll take a little bit of damage, it shouldn't be a big deal. The good news is whenever he casts a spell. Oh, one big problem I have is if I can't cast spells, I lose my lifesteal. My people are mana addicts. I need to be casting spells, so I need to be more careful about spelljammers. Right, that's an important piece. That's an important mechanic I just learned about my faction. I hadn't thought about that. I understood the mechanics from start to finish, but I didn't understand how badly they would negatively affect me. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and load back to that turn. Now that I have that piece of knowledge, that because my faction is incredibly dependent upon magic. Now that I have that piece of knowledge, I know that I need to get a unit onto that Spelljammer, and I'm just going to deploy this hero onto that Spelljammer, which means it's now occupied, so it can't be used. So this is a learning moment for me on how to play my faction. And then I can drop lightning torrents on these guys. I thought this would just be an easy auto-resolve. I didn't know about the Spirit Jammer. So I don't mind, in particular, I don't mind save scums where it's like, oh, I learned something about the game. So I'll just go back, because if you think about it, here's how I'll explain this. My goal as a player, when I play these games, right, is if you imagine, my goal as a player, imagine this is like time and this is like skill. My goal as a player is to get like a pretty good amount of skill and knowledge about a game for the time investment. If I encountered this mistake and it's a game ruining mistake, let's say, right? And it's a real learning moment. What happens is this graph starts to look like this because I've learned the lesson, but I can't apply it because the only way to apply it would be to start a new game, right? And so the time and skill graph would have a bit of a jump, but then it would level off because now I'm not really learning anything because I'm in a position that I shouldn't have been in, right? And so if my goal is to be on this line, if I ever find myself here, I just reload back to here and I'm like, okay, I'm back on the learning path. And so that's kind of like the idea why I'm totally happy when I'm like learning a game. This is my first, maybe second game on brutal difficulty. I'm actually okay with reloading when I feel like I've learned something new. Now, I think some people think that it's more about the narrative and they want to like live with the consequences, but that's not really how I play games. But I totally understand and respect your perspective, and I hope you can understand and respect my perspective and why I've decided to reload here. Like, here's the thing. Now that I know that thing, that the Spelljammer is here, and that my faction is incredibly dependent upon it, if I make that mistake again, and it's my fault, I won't reload. Because this was the first time I encountered it and it was a learning moment, I think, okay, that was a learning moment. I get to go back and I get to learn from that lesson and I get to see how things would have played out. I hope that makes sense. That's the way that I see it anyway. It's kind of how I treat people in my relationships too. Like the first time someone does something to hurt me, I'm like, hey, that hurt my feelings. I don't like it when you did that. Don't do that again. And people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, hey, no. It's okay. We're all good. Your apology is accepted. No harm was done. we're basically reset to where we were before you did that thing. Now that you've understood, you've taken the time to understand why it bothered me, why it hurt me. You're reset. You're absolved of your sins. I will not hold it against you. You are completely, totally forgiven. No problem. Yeah, so I even like exercise this for other people in my personal life. I don't hold things against people unless they keep doing the behavior. Then I'm like, hey, now you're taking the piss. So this auto-resolve should go a lot better because we can actually use spells. The Spelljammer is blocked. He doesn't have a second type of Spelljammer, I don't believe. Wait a minute. No, this doesn't function as a Spelljammer. I know there is a province improvement that does function as a Spelljammer, so I'm trying to be more aware of that now. So now when I engage this army stack, if I auto-combat it, it should go way better because I actually have access to magic. Okay, it went similarly poorly, so I want to figure out why. Like, I have access to magic. All right, let's position our spearmen on the front line. I'm going to start doing our flank. So I have access to magic, so this should just go really well for me, I feel. Like, just straight up go really good. We'll put the support unit in between these two. We'll drop a little heal to keep everyone nice and healthy. We'll put the battle mages behind, like so. We'll just start zapping fools. And then we're going to conjure a divine beacon right here to provide healing and morale to these guys as they siege down this side. That'll give me star blades and all that juicy stuff that I probably should have done before, but that's okay. Now, where do I want my phase beasts to go? I'm not sure yet. I think I want my phase beasts with my chaos eater. It's a big old fiend that is a melee mage, so it actually likes to get up close and personal and do like lifesteal stuff and electrify and damage people. So I'll bring my Chaos Beast forward. Let's summon a unit. Oh, that was not the button I meant to click. Oh well, I accidentally just reset my cooldowns, which you can only do once per battle. Oops. Well, I guess we're getting only one unicorn, who honestly, this is a great addition to the Phase Beast. Let's do a Star Purge on this bad boy. Boom. There we go. You're going to come up here. You're going to fortify. Come up here. Face this way and fortify. Come up here. Soothing Breeze. Fortify for magic protection. You sit behind these guys so you're a little bit harder to hit. These guys will have a little bit of trouble hitting me because my people are like really, really good. They've got quick reflexes. They're obscured by obstacles. We're really good against ranged attacks. I've got another Star Purge. I can destroy that catapult. Destroying that catapult is huge. How often do they attack? Yeah, 1 turn cooldowns. So just taking out a unit makes the battle slightly easier. What do you got here? Bless. I'm going to bless the... let's step forward. Mending Touch. Oh, the Phase Beast can't be Mending Touched. Why is that? Because he has the decaying debuff, so healing is quite hard for me. Right. Go ahead and Mending Touch this Phase Beast, then bless the Chaos Eater. I think that is all of my active units. I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. These guys do have Soul Overflow. I'm expecting to take a little bit of damage and some bad stuff and stuff. That's okay. Oh, wow. That was a big fat web he just dropped on me. Oh, Finger of Death. Holy shit, what was that ability? I think he just Finger of Deathed me. All right, nice heal over here on the left. What was that? He just straight up murked me. What is this thing? What is this Druid of the Cycle? How did it do that? Slight chance of instantly killing an injured target. Holy shit. And then he can bring allied units back to life. Holy crap. Let's drop a Divine Beacon here to provide healing and power. Let's take out this shield unit. My catapults. I would like to blast down walls, I think. Make breaches. There we go. There's a breach. Make another breach here. This Druid of the Cycle is insane, man. Let's do an overchannel. I'll conjure another Divine Beacon to try to keep this section of my army healthy. Come on, give me some good hits. Oh man, I need you to do a little bit more. All right, perfect. Let's phase over into adjacency with this guy. Charge strike him. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get behind him and attack. I'm going to bring my Phase Beasts over onto this right side to really help this out and take these guys on. All right, there's another unit down. Soothing Breeze. I'm going to retreat you. You got to kill. Move you to here. Blast that Druid. We need to get rid of these Druids. These Druids are insane. The fact that they can instant kill units and resurrect. Like, that is kind of insane. I did not ever respect the Druid of the Cycle, but now, let me tell you, I do. I'll drop a fat regeneration here to heal these guys. Oh my god, he just revived a unit. He just revived a unit! Oh god, these Druids of the Cycle are insane. The good news is the AoE beacons here are really helping out. Okay, Spearman is up. Battle Mage is up. Double Blast. Can you get this 50-50 shot? Perfect. Now this should be the kill. I don't want to take bleeding damage. You move here. You got a pretty good chance to crit. So, I'm actually kind of okay with this. Like, low chance to hit, if you know what I mean. Because crit overcomes low chance to hit. That's the thing you got to think about. I'm going to go ahead and summon a Divine Beacon here. I'll restore some health to you. These Divine Beacons are insanely good, in my opinion. The fact that they give morale and health and they count as a spell, it's like super damn good. Right, what do we got to take out here? Honestly, the Druid of the Cycle just needs to go. Right, my Unicorns and Phase Beasts over here. What can we do? Why is our damage so low against this guy? Holy shit. Is he in defense mode? Let's flank behind him. Hit him with the flank. Hit him with another flank. We need that Druid of the Cycle to come down. Can I Battle Mage him maybe? Come on, he just one hit. One hit. Perfect. Now this guy might revive him, which becomes really obnoxious actually. The whole reviving thing is a bit of a pain. Because does that mean that they can just continuously revive each other? I don't know how I feel about that one. That one I don't like. Alright, he's soul overflowed. Oof. I don't know how many. I don't even know if you can stack that. He did just revive the Druid of the Cycle. That's great. So before I can even really make progress on this battle, I need to kill all those Druids of the Cycle. Okay, I was not prepared for how insane this battle could be. So I definitely feel like I've decisively won the left side, which means the right side needs the most help. Because we are not decisively winning this. I'm going to drop a Divine Beacon here. That extra health really adds up. Step here, Mending Touch. He can't be healed. Okay. Step here, Mending Touch. He can be healed. Let's kill this guy, which will leave a Skeleton Spearman in his position. Then this should kill the Skeleton Spearman, allowing our guy to get up into melee with you. Maybe I can Stunning Flash. He resisted the stun. That's okay. You're a little bit hurt. You're doing half damage because you've taking serious damage. Cancel his retaliation. Okay, we need to take out this Druid of the Cycle. Mending Touch this bad boy. Can you get this kill? You could almost get this kill. God, these things have so much health. That is ridiculous. You've been blinded, so you can't hit shit. I guess you can hit this guy at least. Get this kill for me, please. Boom. Let's do a Star Purge. Where does it make sense to do one? Right here, I guess. No, right here. Star Purge away all their bonuses. We could hit the tower. We could hit these guys. I think we want to just concentrate damage in the center to start dealing with a big old chunk of enemies over here. This Battle Mage will step two tiles to the right and then blast this kid. That'll get rid of him. He'll spawn as a Skelly. You, I believe, are infected by decaying, so you can't heal for a while, so I'm going to keep you near these beacons. Do I want to use my spear? I may as well. I may as well take this out, right? Blast, blast, blast. Spearman, get ready to flank. You're also afflicted by decaying, so I want to keep you in the reserve. You run forward, Soothing Touch him with this support unit, and then I should be able to Soothing Breeze you. You're a little bit hurt, but that's okay. Magic Bolts should do some work. Very nice. I don't mind losing tier 1 units, honestly. They're very, very replaceable. My tier 3 shit, though, I don't want to lose any of that. I think my enemy's morale is starting to break, so they should stop doing as much damage. They should start to fumble their attacks, which is like an anti-crit, which means they'll do half damage. Now, they're still scary, and they still do a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. But it shouldn't be quite as much. My enemies are fleeing the field. I'm going to let them flee the field. I think I got a better outcome. I might have lost like a couple of units. Yeah, I lost a single spell shield. So that was definitely a much better outcome than we got. I'm going to close that. This is the death of another player. I can get an alignment here to spend a little bit of mana and get alignment. I can get a bunch of food, or I can celebrate my triumph at the cost of gold. I think I'm going to celebrate my triumph this time. While it would be nice to increase my alignment, I'm currently very good, which is a pretty good place to be. I don't need to get all the way to the top alignment. And that is the death of Noctis, which leaves, honestly, a bunch of city-states down here in the deep underground that I can just run around and take over. Like Heartfang should be a pretty easy kill. God, I want that 1,000 gold. But I'm going to go ahead and vassalize the conquered city. That'll take 3 turns. One of the big things that I need is an increase to my mana income. My mana is really, really quite weak right now because I'm spending just so much mana on maintenance. Let's go ahead and check out the crypt. Yeah, we got a bunch of erudite orcs. Let me have a look at some of these corpses. Maybe I should... Yeah, okay, so we're keeping this corpse. We could sell it for money. We don't need the money. Will Phantasmal. Yeah, we're keeping that corpse because it's worth mana and research. But a Philistar. Yeah, we're keeping that corpse. Inkmar the Attuned. We're keeping this corpse. I'm just checking to see if any of these guys have like a lot of loot on them, and they don't. Perfect. So I would say we've made really damn good progress. We've got basically control of my continent, at least the southern half of it. We've got control of the underground directly beneath my continent, at least in the southern half, and a little bit over here at Colvane. The main enemy I'm going up against next, I think, is Gloom Hucknail, who is currently in first place is a question I have to ask. So it looks like Arctica is currently the highest rank player. She might be my late game Giga threat. She has 2 seeds, it seems. And currently Gloom Hucknail is going to be public enemy number 1 for my empire. He's going to be a much more difficult foe. It's going to require probably 6 stacks of armies A lot of them are going to be tier 1s. I'll need to unlock some chaos affinity to get the tier 1 unit reduction. That 30% upkeep reduction is really helpful. I'm 1 research cycle from tier 4 tomes, which is going to be fantastic for my empire. And yeah, I need to increase my city cap so that I can found a city of the halfling builders without taking a massive penalty to my income, and I can start building my fishery city over here. I need to start getting my teleporters online, my chrono gates. One thing I really need to do is to clear out this Reaper's Hollow as well, so I can integrate it into my capital, and then I can delete this outpost here and hopefully integrate Reaper's Hollow into the capital. Although, actually, I could probably just capture it with this outpost. It probably is not that big of a deal. But if I can integrate this, this will give me another 2 mana, 2 knowledge, and soul for every hero in the crypt. We have a few heroes in the crypt, which would be, 10 of each. So just, start working on these things. I'm going to call that the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all very much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.